Hello and welcome to the Lancashire Cricket Show. Well, this is certainly the life, isn't it, on the South Coast beach at the start of the four-day season. Of course, pretty unseasonal here, Brighton Pier in the backdrop to Lancashire's first four-day match of the campaign. It's against Peter Moore's old club, Sussex, and as well as the outcome of that match, we have plenty more on the way.
And I've still got mega challenges and personal ones as well as team ones. So for me, nothing's really changed. I'm just enjoying the fact that I still get picked and I can play for Lancashire.
This year's my benefit year, so as well as playing cricket and doing my studying at Salford University, I've got about 25 events to organise and put on throughout the year, so yeah, it's a huge year for me.
In which TV soap did J.R. Ewing star?
Emmerdale.
All of that still to come over the course of the next half an hour. But now let's check out Lancashire's start to the 2009 County Championship campaign. And as ever, a pretty titanic battle awaited against Sussex at the former home of Peter Moore's. The weather unseasonably hot for this time of year, I think it's fair to say, but definitely no difference in the way that Sussex and Lancashire battled it out. Here's the action.
On day one at Hove, Lancashire's bowlers put the side in a promising position with James Anderson and captain Glenn Chappell amongst the wickets. The home side were reduced to 160 for 5 at the end of day one. Anderson finished with figures of 3 for 47, whilst Chappell claimed 2 for 56. Drew's top scored for the hosts on his championship debut for the club with 89 not out. A great team effort by Lancashire was the feature of the second day at Hove. James Anderson, Glenn Chappell, Mark Chilton, Ashwell Prince and Stephen Croft all played their part to help the Red Rose into a solid position at the end of play. Anderson completed figures of 6 for 56 to help bowl the hosts out for 289 before lunch. Captain Chappell, meanwhile, finished with 4 for 69 to give Lancashire the 3 maximum bowling bonus points. After the loss of 3 early wickets, Chilton hit 72 not out, Croft 59 not out and Ashwell Prince 56 to help the visitors to a commanding 209 for 4 at close. On day 3, Lancashire were bowled out for 299 in their first innings. Mark Chilton top scored with 89. Gary Keedy gave Lancs a sniff of victory with 3 wickets in the final session. The 34-year-old saw off Murray Goodwin and Matt Pride within the space of 3 balls in the 32nd over, before wrapping Ed Joyce on the pads in the very last over of the day. The hosts closed on 148 for 5 with a lead of 138 going into the final day.
I'm relatively pleased with how I've performed. First game for a while. A few nerves early on, like there is with everybody. Just want to go into the game and hit the ground running, basically, and I feel like I've done that.
But overall, it seems a really relaxed atmosphere around the camp, stretching from when you came back from Abu Dhabi, and the whole change in the atmosphere around the place with the new people on board.
Yeah, like I've said before, we've given ourselves the best chance of doing well with our pre-season preparation, and all we can do now is take that into our one-day games, into our 4-day games, and just apply ourselves on what we've been trying to do in practice, really. There is the buzz there with the newness of the coach and everything what's going on. It's just a case of us applying ourselves and getting on with it.
Winning breeds winning, and having beaten Glamorgan, it must have helped in a huge way coming into this confidence-wise for all of the guys.
Yeah, we've had a good start to the season. We're just like I say, just carrying on into every day we play. And like I say, we're growing in confidence and see what happens tomorrow.
With the bat and with the ball as well, everybody seems to have chipped in this game. And a special word, I suppose, on Mark Chilton, who had a fairly hard 2008, but has shown what steely stuff he's made of in this game.
Chilly's a quality player, and he had a bit of a bad run last year, but we're in a new season now, and he's come out and played like he has done. And that 90 what he scored on this pitch was worth 150. It was an unbelievable knock for us, and he's set the game up nicely.
Still plenty to do then, but an achievable task with James Anderson on fire. The England bowler stormed to a first-class career best match figures of 11 for 109, thanks to 5 second innings wickets to help bowl Sussex out for 167. South African duo Ashwell Prince and Francois du Plessis then helped Lancashire chase down 158 for their second win here in 3 years, with an unbroken third wicket stand of 148 to recover from 12 for 2. Prince led the way with 91 not out. Du Plessis notched 58 to secure the perfect start to Lancashire's county championship season. On Sunday, Paul Horton hit his maiden one-day century to help Lancashire to their second Friends Provident Trophy win of the season, a 5-wicket success over Northants. The 26-year-old helped the Lightning to chase down 241. Earlier, Saj Mahmood had claimed 3 for 38 from 9 overs.
Well, in these days of congested fixture calendars at international level and also IPL contracts, it's pretty difficult to get stars of international repute to give up the sun in their homelands and come and play some county championship cricket. But Lancashire have done excellently to recruit Ashwell Prince, the South Africa international who made 56 on county championship debut here in Hove. And we caught up with him to find out what makes him tick as he prepares for a short stint with the Red Rose.
I'm really looking forward to it. I had a stint with Nottinghamshire last season, and things didn't all go according to plan. So I feel like I have a point to prove. So I'm really looking forward to it.
You've certainly proved one point in emphatic fashion just before this little spell with a massive 100 against Australia. Tell us about that personally after struggling to get back into a side in which you were the absolute fulcrum of in the success here last summer.
Yeah, it was a bit, it was a hard pill to swallow being left out of the team. And then basically just waiting for my opportunity. Also not knowing when that opportunity may come again, it's not easy to deal with, but I've had another crack at it, and albeit in a different position that I've been used to, but I'm just glad that I could make a success of it.
Now, with all of your success in 2008 here with South Africa, I'm sure that Peter Moores was probably sick of the sight of you as you batted through that terrific summer for South Africa. How's it been settling into his new side, I suppose?
Yeah, it's been a good vibe since I've arrived here. The guys have come back from a pre-season in Dubai where, by all accounts, everything went well. There's a good vibe about the place, as I said, with the new coach. And a lot of young players in the team as well. So, I'm sure that Peter Moores will bring a lot of ideas. And, myself being one of the senior players, I'm just hoping to help as much as I can.
You've mentioned sort of your senior status in many ways with the experiences that you've had throughout the game. Is it still important for players of international stature like yourself to get these different experiences in county cricket?
Absolutely. I think, having been successful during what is obviously the Test series last year, that is really, the warm weather summertime. I think the start of the season will have its own sort of challenges, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure it's not going to be easy. The ball will do a bit and move around a bit, and it's very different to South African conditions, and it's cold, and there are a lot of challenges out there. So I'm a person who's always looking forward to challenges, and I think only time will tell, I think.
Well, will it take time to settle when you're in these short-term contract situations? I mean, does it take time to bed in? Is that a frustration or just a different challenge for you?
Yeah, it is a bit difficult, but I see it as a challenge. I got 6-7 weeks, and I think, the most important thing, it's not really about myself. I think the team always comes first, and the most important thing for me in that 7 weeks is, to help the team to get off to a good start and get the ball rolling, really. That by the time I leave, and VVS comes back from India, is to leave with the team with having a bit of momentum for the season. I think in any sport, momentum is a key factor. So if we can get a few wins early doors in the season, just to get the ball rolling and get that momentum going, I think that's the most important thing.
Away from the recreational side of things now, down on Hove Beach and back to the serious action. And even on the first week of the county championship season, Lancashire physio Sam Byrne has had his work cut out with the players to try and get them fit enough to play a 4-day fixture. We caught up with him to see just how much he's had to do to get 11 players out on the park for the Red Rose.
Been here most of the winter, Martin, working with the lads. Went away to Florida working with some of the ECB fast bowlers in December, which was good to get away and see how we do things a little bit differently, which was really good actually, being able to bring a few of those ideas back to Lancashire. But the lads here have had a really good winter, so
I suppose most of your job during the season is very difficult to predict what you're going to be called upon to do next. So is it difficult for you to stay in that mindset of being focused all the time, knowing that if somebody gets injured, you're straight out there?
Yeah. One thing I really do try and do is watch the game as much as I can. It's often difficult at Old Trafford when you've got players in the back room treating sort of injuries, etc. But try and watch the game as much as we can just to see what happens and really sort of be on call if anyone goes down injured. You sort of really helps me if I can see how they actually get injured and see their injuries as they unfold. So that helps. But yeah, it can be fairly unpredictable on a daily basis. Some days you're just sort of rehabbing players. Other days you can have a quiet day. Today's been a reasonably quiet day, which makes a bit of a change.
At the end of the summer last year, obviously always the bowlers need patching up, sending out there when perhaps the limbs are telling them to do something pretty different. At the start of a summer, do you have to approach the way that you work with the lads in a different way?
Yeah, I think so. I think bowlers, no matter how much pre-season you do, tend to harden up as the season goes on. I think early season it's not uncommon to pick up a few niggles, and we've had our fair share, I guess. But I think as the season goes on, they sort of begin to sort of get into their bowling rhythms and routines. We obviously try and do a lot of things on a daily basis with them to keep them strong throughout the season. Little bits of prehab along the way, whether it's side pull downs to try and keep their side strong, or med ball throwdowns or things like that, just to really get them sort of working before they even go out in the field. It's often difficult when you've only got 10 minutes sort of change of innings to sort of get them loose. But I think early season you sort of really just working on their rhythm and routines and getting them into those sort of good habits. After the game as well, we try and do a lot of the recovery work, which people sort of don't really see, but a lot of work goes on behind the scenes to get them out on the field, especially the fast bowlers in the morning. They're always the ones that seem to be on the bed sort of needing the most patching up. So.
Are you surprised at how many players you've had to work with already this season? And we're in the first championship game of the season, and you've already had to work with a few, haven't you?
I think we're in better shape than we were last year. We lost a lot of our seamers early last year with a variety of things. I think the cold weather early season really hampered us last year. But this year, obviously we have beautiful weather down here, so it's been a bit easier. But we've had Glenn Chappell with a bit of a hamstring. He's got back from that successfully in time for the first game, picked that up in some really hot weather out in Abu Dhabi. And certainly we've had sort of a few little niggles along the way. I think the new surface bedding in at Old Trafford has taken a little bit of getting used to. It's quite heavy for the players, and they've all sort of commented on that. But I think we just have to really keep doing what we're doing. So.
Sam Byrne, a very busy man indeed, even at this time of year. Well, that's all we have time for in part one of the Lancashire Cricket Show, but join us in just a few moments' time and we'll be catching up with the Lancashire opening batsman Paul Horton, back after injury to play at Sussex. Join us then. Welcome back to the Lancashire Cricket Show, brought to you from the beautiful south coast here at Hove. Now it's time to catch up with a man who missed the first one-day game of the season through injury, but was back to feature for Lancashire in the first county championship game of the season. Paul Horton spent the winter in Western Australia. We caught up with him on his return to less sunny climes.
My pre-season was probably spent at a lovely place called Perth. 5 months I went there October 10th, I think. I arrived back March 10 as well, somewhere around that sort of time. Had a week before we went to, and then off to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and then back here to lovely sunny Manchester.
Talk about the way of life, I suppose, as well as the way that it's affected your cricketing development in its latest stage out in Perth. It's, I suppose, a very different environment in every sense to what you've had.
Yeah, it was lovely to get away. In my younger years, I always looked to get away and play some cricket and enjoy, and obviously I grew up my early formative years in Australia, so I always have a connection to go back and play a bit of cricket there. And Perth is somewhere I'd never been, and there was an opportunity to come and play and captain and sort of coach a team out there, a young, slightly weaker team in the competition, so it was nice to go out there and play and a different role for me. So I enjoyed it, and it was a lovely challenge in a different environment.
At Lancashire over the last couple of years, you've kind of morphed into being the absolute backbone of the batting setup, whether it's been at 5 when you came in at the start of 2007 or in more recent times opening the innings. How have you sort of changed your outlook to I suppose, to reflect the very different responsibilities you have now in the first team?
It's funny. I never looked at it like that. I don't probably not until sort of recent times. Maybe recently, this sort of pre-season, maybe I start to look and and see that maybe I am a big part of the batting. I don't know if I'm the backbone just yet, but a big part of the batting. You just carry on. Every day and every new cricket game, a new season is a challenge, and once sort of January ticks over, I sort of look and head into my new season. I've still got mega challenges and personal ones as well as team ones. So for me, nothing's really changed. I'm just enjoying the fact that I still get picked and I can play for Lancashire.
Is this season about absolutely consolidating your place in the one-day team as well as the four-day team, and perhaps changing the perceptions that other people have of you as a cricketer?
Yeah, I think I have a unique upbringing into first-class cricket. As you know, for a young lad, I've played more first-class games than one-day games, and there's not many of them blokes who are 25, 26 around the country. It's just the way my career is formed and the way I've gone in my career at Lancashire. A lot of all-rounders in our squad and a lot of blokes who can bat and do a job in one-day cricket. So I've missed out a little bit in recent times. I'm looking to resurrect that. I feel I'm ready, and I feel given an opportunity, I'll enjoy my new surroundings in one-day cricket, and I'm like anybody, I want to play in the one-day, especially in the 2020. So I'm looking forward to hopefully be given the chance in playing in all forms, and playing in all forms this year will be a new challenge for me.
From the perspective of a batsman to one of a bowler now, Gary Keedy among the wickets here at Hove in the second innings against Sussex. It's a big year for Keeds, it's his benefit season.
As well as playing cricket and doing my studying at Salford University, I've got about 25 events to organise and put on throughout the year, so yeah, it's a huge year for me. We've tried to get away this year from the conventional sportsman's dinner, and we're trying to think of some unique experiences and entertaining nights for people. We've come up with an Asian themed event, which is it's going to involve the screening of the India-Pakistan 2020 World Cup game. Obviously a few other things going on there with that. We've got a celebrity darts night. John Gwynne's going to host that from Sky Sports. I think we're going to have Peter Manley and a few of the Premier League darters coming down doing the stuff. But I think the main event of the year, which I'm especially looking forward to, is our Strictly Summer Ball. This basically involves Darren Gough and Martin Afire hosting it. We've got some exhibition dancers who've been on the live show, followed by some live music from the Alex Charles Band. We've got a unique experience in Edinburgh. Sir Ian Botham's give 2 days of his time up to play golf against 6 lucky people and have private dining in between, which is like the money can't buy experience. So there's lots going on, yeah.
He's a real sort of unsung hero, really. He doesn't really take that many of the plaudits, but I think that's the way he likes it, and he just gets on with his job, doesn't he?
No, definitely. He's just likes, he turns in, day out, always gives 100%, bowls his overs, and just doesn't complain about he's got a ball into the wind or no matter what, just gets on with it.
As somebody that's just breaking into the setup like yourself and sort of on the brink of the first team, getting into it more and more, how much of a help are the people like Gary as well?
Yeah, well, I'm quite fortunate that I actually sit next to him in the dressing room, so I speak to him quite a lot, and his experience is invaluable. But not just him, obviously the other players. Glenn's captain this year. We've just got a new head coach who's got a lot of experience at international level and has got success at county level winning trophies with Sussex. So yeah, it's you can't really explain how valuable people like that are.
How pleased have you been then? You mentioned the likes of Sir Ian Both and Darren Gough as well, and to have all the support for the people at Lancashire as well. How much of a compliment to you is that as well?
It's a massive compliment, just that my fellow professionals really recognise my services, what I've done for Lancashire, and to be honest, they've all come out in force to support me, so I'm very appreciative of that.
OK, Mal, this time last year we were talking about your benefit year. That's over with now, you're concentrating on cricket, but Gary's year hopefully will be a success.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be. Gary's played for the club for over 10 years, very popular at Lancashire, and I'm sure he'll be well supported.
A Yorkshireman in the dressing room as well, getting a benefit year as well, quite a feat really.
Yeah, it's a rare old thing, but as I said, he's part of the furniture now. He's been here 10, 12, maybe 15 years as a player, and as I said, very popular in the dressing room, and the members like him as well.
When you joined the county, did you imagine you'd be granted a benefit year?
To be honest, when you first join a staff, all you want to do is make an impression, try and get in the team and do as well as you can. To play for 15 years and be granted a benefit year is quite humbling, really, for doing something what you love. And I've had 15 brilliant years at Lancashire, and hopefully I've got a few more left.
All seems pretty relaxed from here, doesn't it? Well, it is for me, not so for the man coming up next. Stephen Mullaney, the latest player to take to the weakest Lanc hot seat.
Question 1. What do you do with a wonton?
You eat it.
What colour are telephone boxes in France?
I've no idea, but I'll guess at green.
In which TV soap did J.R. Ewing star?
Emmerdale.
In which month is American Independence Day?
Oh no. July.
What is the name of the building in which whiskey is made?
What?
In what building is whiskey made?
No idea.
In Cockney rhyming slang, what is a tea leaf?
It's a thief.
What is the fat of a whale also known as?
A fin? No idea. That's a terrible question.
Which snooker player was also known as the Hurricane?
Oh no. I'm not well up on my snooker.
Have a guess.
No idea. John Virgo. No idea.
What colour is the circle line on a London Underground map?
Yellow.
Just 3 more. What's the square root of 81?
9.
In which country is the Black Forest?
No idea. Switzerland.
What colour is Whitechapel on a Monopoly board?
Whitechapel is... It's going to kill me because I was playing it over Christmas. I'm going to go for purple.
Brown.
No!
Stephen Mullaney there on The Weakest Lanc. We'll have more trivia from Lancashire cricketers next week. That's all we've got time for from down here on the south coast at Hove. Next week, we'll be looking ahead to Lancashire's fixture against Worcestershire. Goodbye.